Hi, everybody.
Not yet.
Welcome to my intuition.
Now.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to my intuition.
I'm Amanda, and this is Lillian, and we're
Now I'm not here.
She's taking. Yeah. So we are here on this beautiful Tuesday with you. Happy Easter. Our Lord is risen. It's a beautiful day. We woke up with a very not great surprise, in my opinion. But what did we wake up to today? What did it look like outside today?
Snowy.
Luckily, we're not living where Uncle Jeremy is, because where Uncle Jeremy is, I'll show you later, he got lots of snow. His doggy Topaz was running and jumping in the snow. Oh my goodness. We'll show you a picture later, okay? But we only got a little bit of snow, but still, I wasn't very happy about it. It's pretty cold here. So hence Lillian's penguin sweater. We're bundled up nice and warm. She looks like it's Christmas time instead of Easter. So I actually wanted to do this activity last week, but it was perfect because we had this weird weather. So we figured we'd do a weather video today. Simple, easy activities you can do today for piquing your kids' interest.
Cloudy and Chance of Meatballs.
It is piquing your kids' interest on weather. This is good for preschool through 5th grade, depending on how difficult you make the activities. I'm going to start with this book, but before we begin, can we say a quick prayer?
No.
I'm always going to say a quick prayer because we ask Mary for her guidance during this time, especially for mothers. I know a lot of us are getting really stressed, antsy, etc.
No. She taking a nap.
Yes. So we're going to say a quick prayer and then we'll read our book. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Okay, you ready for Mama to read the story?
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you don't have this book at home, just follow along with me. You could maybe find it online too, to follow along with. But Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. This is one of Mommy's favorite when I was a kid. I'll show it to you, but then I'm going to show the pictures to the camera too, okay? We were all sitting around a big kitchen table. It was Saturday morning, pancake morning.
We have pancakes all y'all.
Yeah, don't interrupt, okay? Remember, you raise your hand. Mommy was squeezing the orange juice, or the oranges for juice. Henry and I were betting on how many pancakes we could each eat, and Grandpa was doing the flipping. Show you a picture. Do you have a question, Lillian?
Why when they going on the hen?
Oh, don't tell them what's going to happen next. Seconds later, something flew through the air, headed straight toward the kitchen ceiling, and landed right on Henry. After we realized the flying object was only a pancake, we all laughed, even Grandpa. Breakfast continued quite uneventfully, and all other pancakes landed in the pan. All of them were eaten, even the one that landed on Henry. The doggy and kitty cat tripped Grandpa. And that's what caused the pancake to go flying in the air. That's why one landed on Henry. Because look at the doggy tripped Grandpa, and he was trying to flip a pancake. So he went, whoa, and it flew and landed on Henry's head. That night, touched by the pancake incident at breakfast, Grandpa told us the best tall tale bedtime story he'd ever told. Across an ocean, over lots of bumpy mountains, across 3 hot deserts, and over 1 smaller ocean, there was a tiny town of Chew and Swallow. Is this a silly town, Lillian?
Yeah.
In most ways, it was very much like any other tiny town. It had a main street lined with stores, houses with trees and gardens around them, a schoolhouse and about 300 people, and some assorted cats and dogs. But there was no food stores in the town of Chew and Swallow. They didn't need any. The sky supplied all the food they could possibly want. That sounds pretty good to me right now. I don't know about you, moms. Because the sky provided all the food they needed. The only thing that was really different about Chew and Swallow was the weather. It came in 3 times a day, at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Everything everyone ate came from the sky. Sounds good to us right now. We could love to avoid those grocery stores, right, moms? Whatever the weather served, it was what they ate. But it never rained rain. It never snowed snow, and it never blew just wind. It rained things like soup and juice. It snowed mashed potatoes and green peas. And sometimes the wind blew in storms of hamburgers. Whoa. Lillian, would that be pretty weird if we went outside and it was raining juice? What would you do?
I don't know.
Would you open your mouth like this? Or would you catch it in a cup?
I catch it in a cup.
The people could watch the weather report on the television in the morning, and they would even hear a prediction for the next day's food. When the townspeople went outside, they carried their plates, cups, glasses, forks, spoons, knives, and napkins with them. That way, they would always be prepared for any kind of weather. If there were any leftovers, and there usually were, people took them home and put them in their refrigerators in case they got hungry between meals. Look in that picture, Lillian. It's raining pancakes, and then pie, and then it looks like it's using its juice or soup.
Juice. And the guy got some juice on his head in his bowl. With his head.
The menu varied. By the time they woke up in the morning, breakfast was coming down. After a brief shower of orange juice, low clouds of sunny-side-up eggs moved in, followed by pieces of toast. Butter and jelly sprinkled down for the toast, and most of the time it rained milk afterwards. For lunch one day, frankfurters, already in their rolls, blew in from the northwest at about 5 miles an hour. There were mustard clouds nearby, and a wind shifted east and brought in baked beans. A drizzle of soda finished off the meal. Oh my goodness. Look at all that crazy food running down from the sky. Dinner one night consisted of lamb chops, becoming heavy at times with occasional ketchup. Periods of peas and baked potatoes were followed by gradually clearing with a wonderful jello setting in the west. The sanitation department of Chew and Swallow had a very unusual job for a sanitation department. It had to remove the food that fell off the houses, sidewalks, and lawns. The workers cleaned things up after every meal and fed it all to the dogs and cats. Then they emptied some of it into the surrounding oceans for fish and turtles and whales to eat. The rest of the food was put back into the earth so the soil would be richer for people's flower gardens. Wow. Yeah, they didn't need to grow food gardens there. All that food. Life for the townspeople was delicious until the weather took a turn for the worst. The newspaper says, spaghetti ties up town. One day, it was nothing but gorgonzola cheese all day long, which is kind of a stinky cheese. The next day, there was only broccoli, and all of it was overcooked. We like broccoli, don't we?
Yeah.
But we probably wouldn't like it if it was overcooked. And the next day, there were Brussels sprouts and peanut butter with mayonnaise. I love Brussels sprouts, but I don't want them with peanut butter and mayonnaise. Ooh. Another day, there was pea soup fog. No one could see where they were going, and they could barely find the rest of the meal that got stuck in the fog. Oh my goodness, things are getting a little messy in this town.
They couldn't see what they were doing.
Because sometimes when it's foggy outside, it's hard to see, but this one was a pea soup fog. Ooh, the food was getting larger and larger, and so were the portions. The people were getting frightened. Violent storms blew up frequently.
This one is very, very slowly.
That's a lot. We don't work up your sister. Awful things were happening. One Tuesday, there was a hurricane of bread and rolls all day long, and into the night. There were soft rolls and hard rolls, some with seeds and some without. There was white bread and rye and whole wheat toast. Most of it was larger than they had ever seen bread rolls before. It was a terrible day. Everyone had to stay indoors. Roofs were damaged, and the sanitation department was beside themselves. The mess took the workers 4 days to clean up, and the sea was full of floating rolls. To help out, the people piled up as much bread as they could in their backyards. The birds pecked at it a bit, but it just stayed there and got staler and staler. There was a storm of pancakes one morning and a downpour of maple syrup. It nearly flooded the town. A huge pancake covered the school. No one could get it off because of its weight, and they had to close the school.
Why then they closed the school?
Because a pancake fell on top of it, and they couldn't get it off. Maybe they could eat it. Would you eat it? Lunch one day brought 15-inch drifts of cream cheese and jelly sandwiches. Everyone ate themselves sick and ended the day with a stomachache.
Why that got stomachache?
Probably because if you eat too much of one thing, cream cheese is kind of sweet, but jelly's really sweet. So if you eat a lot of sweet stuff, you can get a bellyache. Ugh. There was an awful salt and pepper wind accompanied by an even worse tomato tornado. People were sneezing themselves silly and running, avoiding the tomatoes.
Why?
The town was a mess, and there were seeds and pulp everywhere. They were sneezing because pepper can make you very sneezy. The sanitation department gave up. The job was too big. Everyone feared for their lives. They couldn't go outside most of the time. Many houses had been badly damaged. Oops, hold on. By giant meatball stores, or by giant meatballs. Stores were boarded up and there was no more school for the children. So a decision was made to abandon the town of Chew and Swallow. It was a matter of survival. Yes, Lillian?
Why did a pickle up in the house?
There's a pickle that fell into their house. There's ice cream that's flooding the hill. There's a giant donut that's following that lady, and giant pieces of pizza, and a giant hamburger that fell on that man. Oh my goodness. Let's find out what happens.
And there is a donut that man.
Oh my gosh. The people glued together the giant pieces of stale bread, sandwich style, with peanut butter. It took absolute necessities with them only, and they set sail on their rafts for a new land.
Look at a sandwich and a pizza shell.
So loud, we're going to wake up Madeline. After being afloat for a week, they finally reached a small coastal town which welcomed them. The bread had held up surprisingly well enough for them to use for temporary houses for themselves. The children began school again, and the adults all tried to find places for themselves in the new land. The biggest change they had to make was getting used to buying food at the supermarket. They found it odd that food was kept on shelves, packaged in boxes, cans, and bottles. Meat had to be cooked and was kept in large refrigerators. Nothing came down from the sky except for rain and snow. The clouds above their heads were not made of fried eggs. No one got hit by a hamburger again, and nobody dared to go back to Chew and Swallow to find out what happened to them. They were too afraid. Henry and I were awake until the very end of Grandpa's story. I remember his kiss goodnight. There's their houses made out of bread.
Why? They are like after Grandpa's
Well, you would usually stay up for your stories, right?
Yeah.
The next morning, we woke up to see snow falling outside our window, like we did today. We ran outside for breakfast and ate downstairs for breakfast and ate it a little faster than usual so we could go sledding with Grandpa. It's funny, but even as we were sliding down the hill, we thought we saw a giant pat of butter at the top, and we could almost smell the mashed potatoes.
Why they almost said mashed potatoes?
Because if you look at the hill, it kind of looks like mashed potatoes with butter. And they're using their imaginations like Daniel Tiger. They like to imagine things. So that's a cute book. And we're going to use it today as kind of our inspiration behind weather. So we're going to do a little easy activity. I'm going to show you how you can make it a little harder too. So I don't know if any of you have been inside like a little kindergarten classroom, first grade classroom, even second grade. They usually do things like they do their morning circle time, and they usually do a counting activity. But I always remember when I used to work in the lower grades, they'd always do a little weather prediction. So I made this little weather wheel today using, very easy, a paper plate. I cut out a little arrow with some cardboard. And then I have these little brad fasteners. You could probably use a lot of different things for that. Okay. You could just use a paper clip probably even as your spinner. You could use a paper clip as a whole spinner. Yeah, you could look up or just be creative. Yeah, you can spin it. So this spinner is actually a little different. It's not one you use for like the game where you spin it. We're going to use it. And what I'd say for this is be consistent. So try to do the same time of the day, because obviously like this morning, if we had done this, we would have said snowy for the weather, but it's not really snowy outside anymore. So it's really important to talk about how, Lillian, weather is what happens all day long, and it changes throughout the day. Like, look outside. Let me see this pen real quick. What's the weather right now? Is it cloudy, sunny, windy, snowy, or rainy?
Not rainy.
Nope, not rainy.
Not snowy.
Not snowy. Is it windy or pretty calm?
Pretty calm.
Now, would you say it's sunny or cloudy?
Sunny.
Yeah, there are some clouds in the sky, but I would say it's not. In my picture of cloudy here, you can't see the sun. You can't see the sun at all. So yeah, I would say cloudy. And if your kids want, they could say both. They could say it's sunny and cloudy. And so now what we're going to do is, my mom actually printed this off, but you could just draw a little chart on a piece of paper, or find this little calendar to print out. We have a little calendar here, and we're just going to track the weather. So I'm going to start by writing April at the top, and then I'll change over to May when it gets to be May. And today is Tuesday. And today is the 14th. I look at my real calendar. Yeah, 14th. So I'm going to write 14. So I'll write 13, 12. And we didn't do the weather yesterday, but I might write it on here anyway.
50, 60, 70, 80, 19, 20, 9.
So I'll just keep filling this in. I just wrote the date on there. And then we're going to write what the weather is. So it's sunny. So what should we draw as our picture for sunny, Lillian? What should we draw for a picture?
Alpha.
No, what should we draw? What is a picture of?
The sunset.
The sunshine. Yeah, so Tuesday, we'll draw a picture of a sunset. Yeah, we can make it sunset colors. And then today, though, is it cold or warm today?
Cool.
It's cold. So can you please use the blue crayon and color in this little box here, just color it blue. Yeah, so I decided to do like temperature, but since she's young, we won't actually write the temperature. We'll just color it. So it's a colder day. So we'll draw, whoopsies, just in this one little box here. Okay, just color, not anywhere else, just that one little box. Okay, no. You need to listen, Mama. We're just doing one day at a time, okay? Because this is today. Today's Tuesday the 14th. So I want you to color this one little box, okay? For older kids, you could have them. You need to listen. If you want to color all over, use this paper. Okay? You can color this one. So that's good for today. So she colored it in, made a little extra mess too, but she's 2. What are you going to do? So for older kids, you can have them write the temperature, the actual temperature. You can make it bigger. I remember in some classrooms, they don't do the calendar. They just do a tally for like what the weather is, and they keep track. How many sunny days have we had this year? How many rainy days? That's another way you can do it as well. I like the calendar method because we can keep track using a picture, especially for a 2-year-old, a picture of what the weather was, and then a color for the temperature. And so I'm going to hang this up probably on our refrigerator. So every day we can look at the weather and we can change it.
Every day.
But I would say just be consistent with when you check the weather. You don't have to for a 2-year-old, but it's just important to know. Like Lillian, what was the weather this morning when we woke up?
Sunny.
Yeah, so if we did this in the morning time, we would have put snowy. So it's important to know that the weather changes all day long, like the book in Chew and Swallow, right? The weather changed. There were hamburgers in the evening. There was breakfast raining in the morning. Weather changes. It's what's happening right now. So the weather in the morning time is different than the weather in the afternoon, right? Because sometimes it'll be cold in the morning. We're not going to color in that one. Color in this picture. Sometimes it's cold in the morning, but it's warm in the afternoon. Do you want to put some stickers on the picture? Some hearts? All right, so another way you can make this a little more challenging for older kids is obviously you don't have necessarily this poster, but you could look this up online. It's from NASA and NOAA. NOAA. I think it's NOAA. Well, they put out this awesome cloud watching chart. So what I would do with my older kids, my 6th graders, is we'd do cloud watching. What's that noise for? Do you need help pulling the sticker off? Hey, no, we don't make a noise. We're almost, oh yeah, these are coming off very hard. Here. Oh my goodness. Here, we'll get some easier stickers. So you can find this cloud watching chart online, and it's really nice because the older kids can identify the clouds, and they can do a cloud watching calendar and report what kinds of clouds they see. If you want to make it more challenging, they can talk about how different clouds mean different types of weather. So this has like it categorized by high clouds, middle clouds, and low clouds. If you want to make it simpler for a kid who's maybe in 3rd grade, I would just go some basic clouds like cumulus, stratus, and cirrus. Those are like the main cloud types. And as they get more advanced, if you have a 5th or 6th grader, you can do all these different types of clouds and talk about how, like I said, different clouds mean different types of weather. Like cumulonimbus is typical for thunderstorms. And it's really fun to do cloud watching and have kids. This is a great activity. Here it's pretty cold, but on a warm day, it'd be so fun to just lay out a sheet or a blanket and look up at the clouds. For younger kids, you can do the fun old game where you make the clouds. Which one looks like an animal? Oh, what kind of animals do you see? Oh, a bunny rabbit. Oh, I see a fishy or a whale. For the bigger kids, they can look for the different types of clouds. So this is a fun a chart they can look for. If you have a printer, there actually is a weather wheel online that you can print off, a cloud watching wheel. You can take that. and they can spin it, and it'll kind of tell the cloud type and then the type of weather associated with it, which I think is really fun. And then like how high or low it is. For little kids, here's another fun little craft you can do is getting a piece of paper and some cotton balls. You can make some clouds on this little piece of paper. Now, done this before with first graders, and I do teach them the cloud types. Cumulus looks like cotton. So you literally just take these cotton balls and glue them to the paper. For cirrus clouds, you take the cotton ball and you stretch it really thin and you make little wisps. And you can just pull off some of this. Like this would be a cirrus cloud, just this little wispy stuff, because it's those clouds that are way high up in the sky. And then stratus clouds are low and flat. So you would stretch out the cotton ball like this and lay down layers of clouds. So today, Lillian, look at those clouds outside. What do they look like? Do they look like this, where they really look light, or do they look like a puffy cotton ball?
Puffy cotton ball.
Yes, they look like puffy cotton balls. Do you want to help Mama glue down some cotton ball clouds on this piece of paper? Oh, we don't want to put a sticker over your face. Here, can you just pause for this for a second? Can you help me glue on some cotton balls?
Yeah.
Okay, here's your cotton balls. If you want, you can kind of stretch them out a little bit and make them a little fluffier. Mommy will put some glue on this paper. And you can put, do you want to stretch it out, or are you just going to pop it on?
Like this, pop it on.
Okay, and push down. You can do some more. And it's blue like this. The paper is blue like the sky, right? You can stretch it out a little if you want. There you go. And Mommy's going to glue some wispy ones up at the top here. Good. You want to put another one on? So this is very simple, easy activity, but it's fun to talk about clouds. Yeah, and you can make it look like the clouds outside. You can make some look like an animal if you wanted to. I'll kind of hang it down, see how our project's going. All right, I can put this big one on, or just more small ones? Good. And like I said, this would be a stratus cloud.
Put down a big one.
A big one. Good job. Wow, look at our clouds. Should we draw a sunshine on here?
Yeah.
Can you use your yellow crayon and draw a sunshine? Like a circle up there at the top? Yep. Draw a circle. Here, we'll make it a little harder, okay? And you can color it in.
Yeah.
You color? All right. So those are some fun little weather activities you can do. Like I said, it's fun to have a weather chart. Another chart-like activity you can do with your kiddos this time of year, especially if they're good job. If they're a little older, is moon watching, phases of the moon. I might do a phases of the moon video. Should we do a moon video tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right. Tomorrow we're going to do a moon video. Oh, you want to what would be a good sticker for here? You can put a kitty cat on it. Why not? You should put one of your rainbow stickers on here, or your sunshine stickers. Can you put one of those on here? Can you put one of these guys? So yeah, tomorrow, I guess we'll do a moon video tomorrow. That's another easy one to do for kids of all ages. Good night moon is a good, easy one for kids. But I have a fun phases of the moon book I'll do. Yes, so that's all we have for today. Enjoy the weather, enjoy weather watching, and have a great one. Please let me know if there's any other content you are looking for, any specific ages you're looking for. Have a wonderful, happy Tuesday and happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
End.